Our next guest says Hungary's approach to dealing with the refugees is wrong. Ferenc Gyurcsány is the former Prime Minister of Hungary, and he joins me now live from Budapest. Sir, thank you for giving us your time today on this important story. We just shared with our viewers the images of Hungarian police firing water cannon at refugees at the Serbian border. What do you make of the latest developments we're seeing there today?
It's outrageous what's happening. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. It's an unhandleable situation. More and more people are gathering just in front of the Hungarian border without informed, without handled as they were, and they are human beings. And these people are full of hopeless. They do not know what might be their fate. And when I visited this area yesterday afternoon, I warned my government that this situation will not be maintained, keeping these people in peace, because sooner or later they would lose their patience. This is what happened in the last 2 hours.
You were there, as you say. You're getting a very up-close look at what's happening at that border, where we've been describing it almost as a refugee camp, as these people are virtually stuck there. Can you describe in more detail what you saw there and what you're hearing from the refugees?
Yeah, if you are walking around the Hungarian-Serbian borders, you will experience that dozens and groups, teams, are coming to the border. All of them contains 50, 60 people. They believe that in a couple of minutes they would arrive into the edge of the land of promise. And they experience that from the last midnight, because the new regulation came into force last midnight, they can't enter the European Union, and they do not have any idea what will be the next step. When I was there, it was very, very clear that the situation is very unstable. When I met them first, last afternoon, they were applauding, singing, and so on. 10 minutes later, they organized a small demonstration. 10 minutes later, a couple of people climbed up to the fence. It was clear that there is no man, no force that can relax these people, and in whatever moment, some kind of eruption can start, and this is what we're experiencing in these moments.
It's heartbreaking for us to see, especially the images of children and babies. I'm sure you agreed. Are they getting the food and water they need there?
They have water, but not because the Hungarian government provide them drinking water, but because Hungarian and Serbian NGO activists are providing this kind of facilities, but there is no food, no any medical services. There is no any shadow, although in these days in Hungary there is 30, 32 centigrade, sun shining, but the biggest problem is there is not a small leaflet in which they would be informed that my friends welcoming here, we would like to inform to you that in the next couple of hours or next day, we will treat your situation in this or that way. If you are full of hopeless and after 30, 35 days, long route, I think it's a normal human demand that we would like to know what might happen with us. And I think that the intention of the government is sending a message that you have to avoid Hungary, you have to bypass Hungary, regardless that at the end of the day, they will be at the enter of the European border. It cannot be handled on a national, domestic base. It's a European challenge.
We know, as you know, the current Prime Minister in your country is saying, among other reasons for putting up that wall, he wants to defend Christian values in Hungary. You've spoken out strongly against the rationale. I wonder what you think has to happen now instead.
Sorry to say, but what the Christian values mean, it's not about the love, it's not about the openness, it's not about lifting people. I think it's a very simple lie. It's some kind of very dirty domestic political game rivaling with his right extremist opposition. Beyond the question, these people will not go home. They will stay at the borders, and thousands and thousands of people arrive every day. Sooner or later, we have to pull down these borders, and somehow we have to solve the problems, mainly for those people who are coming from the country like Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, which are suffering from permanent war. We have to understand they are very similar than you and myself, like my children. We must not make difference between the people just because they do have another religion than you do have, or they are coming from another culture than we represent. It's so unhuman, it's so devastating. I can't imagine that on this basis and ground how this challenge can be solved. I think it will not be solved.
It's so important to get your voice on this. We have to leave it there, but I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
We've been speaking with the former Prime Minister of Hungary, Ferenc Gyurcsány, in Budapest.